for disclosure, I'm not hating on this game. There's something definitely working here, functionable, and maybe in the future even enjoyable, but not right now. As of the moment I'm recording this video, nothing in this game for me or for my friend was really enjoyable. By comparison, which is a stretch, Call of Duty Warzone 2 has lag in pretty much every single server, and in every lobby you will find at least one cheater. Unlocking weapons is very difficult. There's a lot of downsides. But even so, we had more laughs and giggles with my friends in Warzone 2 than I did in Frozen Flame. Note that we've played Frozen Flame in normal mode, which felt like very hard to us. It was pretty much frustration everywhere. After many hours, I dialed down the level of difficulty to easy, and sure enough, the game was playable and I guess even doable, fun, whatever you like to call it. But I felt like the normal experience, which should have been normal, was just not good enough. Sure, you gotta be lenient. I realize that this is an early access game. Gotta give the developers some slack, right? Gotta support them. You get a plus for the effort. Yeah, I did purchase this game, and also my friend, I convinced him to do so. We want to get some fun out of our money. Fortunately, Frozen Flame wasn't much fun, which is why I'm making this video a little bit as a raise awareness situation. There's not a lot of co-op online Souls-like out there. The list is pretty much short, and this was out there for the taking, so we really wanted to try it and see if it's good. As of right now, as I mentioned, normal mode is not, and easy feels a bit like you're getting underhanded. First things first, the performance. The game has only DLSS, which is for NVIDIA, and no FSR for AMD. Anybody like me with an AMD graphics card will have pretty low frames. The performance, I would call it bad. Hopefully this is not like one of those shooters, so you don't need 200 frames, but holding 60 is a challenge. And there's moments when things are loading, it dips below 30, making it almost unplayable. You can't let the performance slip. It's doable most of the times. Something, however, that I cannot let slip or look away is the gameplay. Stuff that you will be doing for hours on end, the actual gameplay. It's a bad design. Just something they need to rethink and redo, because as of right now, it's not working. Can it be improved? Can they make any changes to it? Yes, absolutely. And I see it, 1 year from now on, this could absolutely work. Just not right now. This should be something that you might think about purchasing in the future. However, I purchased it, I gave money on it, and I played it right now in the present. And right now, I can't recommend it. The gameplay is not that good. It revolves around fetch quests. First off, you talk to an NPC, he tells you to do stuff, you go, you do it, you come back to NPC to get a reward. Not really complaining, Very few video games in 2023 actually managed to break away from the fetch quest, and those video games are AAAs. Farming and grinding materials non-stop, fetching between whatever the NPC wants to do, going back and forth. This is your main thing to do in the game. There are two main mechanics in Frozen Flame that basically are the most important ones. Combat not being it. One is inventory management or inventory space, whichever you like to call it, or the lack of pretty much any inventory, because you are constantly overweight. I mean, constantly. You pick up a rock, you pick up some twigs on the ground, there you go, you're overweight. The game literally just punishes you for picking things up from the ground. No joke. Second mechanic is travel. Literally getting from one point to another, mainly if you don't want to walk everywhere, if you want to use a teleport or / flying system. The inventory with traveling, they're bound together. Both of them kind of dependent on one another because likely you're building something in one place and you need to travel to that place, or you need to travel to the NPC to wherever you're going. And second of all, when you are doing that, you got to pick stuff up from the ground. So you see how travel and inventory are kind of, the same thing. Both teleporting and flying are not available if you are overweight, if your inventory is kind of full. No traveling for you, no flying for you. Lots of areas where you have to fly in order to get to the quest. Always constantly making you give up stuff that you have in inventory. Yes, there is a workaround around that, but we'll talk about that later. The game really doesn't hold your hand and you have no idea what to do at first. It gets pretty frustrating pretty fast. How can you play the game if you cannot travel to the objectives? How can you do the objectives if you don't have stuff in the inventory to craft, build, make a fire, constantly fix your armor and weapons, etc.? That's right, you can't. So in one conclusion, in the first hour of gameplay, maybe like 2 hours, you really feel like you gotta uninstall it. But we kind of pushed on, me and my friend. There had to be some workarounds, and sure enough, they are. We didn't give up. With respect, I think probably we should have just put it aside and play some other time. But hey, I paid for it, let's play it. There are skills that will let you teleport when you are overweight in the skill tree lineup. Those skills are available after about, give or take, 5 to 6 hours of gameplay. I'm not kidding. If you play it on easy, it might be 4 hours of gameplay. On normal, it's between 5 and 6 hours of gameplay. You cannot access those skills right away. It takes a long time. Bear in mind, 6 hours of gameplay is a lot of time, and during which you're stuck with the inventory and you're pretty much stuck with the quests, and you constantly have to struggle what you're keeping on you and what you don't. It's not fun. You will find that you can craft some small boxes that serve as chests where you can put your extra items. Fun fact, those boxes do cost quite a lot to make. You put your items, you got to remember where you put them. Sometimes you will have mobs attack them. Sometimes you're not going to find them there. Sometimes they go missing. Sometimes you die, and when you come back, they're not there. You have to start picking items all over again. It's a bit of a cluster mess. I'm not going to use the F word, but you know what I mean. Not easy to get around. Everything in this game is one gigantic crafting simulator. Again, so far I have not really talked about the fighting. You will do some fighting, but picking stuff up from the ground, traveling, and crafting is essential. It's what you are constantly going to be doing. You can even craft your own teleporter, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's a design, right? You don't need to go somewhere like you do in most Souls games. Nah, you can craft your own save point, safe teleportation. That's awesome. Like I said, you can pretty much craft everything. Weapons, clothing, fixing stuff. The fire that you need to craft in order to survive, because at nightfall it gets cold and you can die from cold. So then there's that. However, there are ramifications. There's like a system to the crafting thing, the mechanic. You need, let's say, twigs in order to get the logs. From logs, you need some rocks. And rocks, you need different type of minerals, which you get by farming them. And then you can build your own garden. You plant a bunch of seeds. You get different type of seeds. There's a ramification. You need to build something in order to build something else and something else, so you can get the main thing. Constantly forcing you to literally pick up everything you see along the way. Chop down the trees, pick up the apples, chop down that, cook, And oh yeah, don't get me starting on the cooking. In order to make crystal essence, you need 3 more things. But before you get those 3 more things, you need to craft something else that requires 2 more things so you can get the crystal essence. That's like 30 minutes of gameplay, you trying to get that crystal essence. You need 3 crystal essences just so you can start a secondary boss fight. That just might lead into 1 hour of gameplay where you're just trying to do a quest for an NPC. It's a lot. It's a lot of fetching. Yeah. Another minus, before I get to the whole cooking and whatnot and fighting, another minus is that everything in this game, and I mean everything, has durability. The developers have thought about it like this. Hey, they're gonna craft stuff, just craft a bunch of stuff, and that stuff, all of it has durability. Everything. Your clothing has durability, your weapons, the box that you craft to hold your resources, the house has durability, your shelter, everything. The fire, the bonfire, if you're familiar with Souls, that has durability as well. It has a couple of minutes and then you need to remake it. Everything has durability. You need, again, resources to upkeep the things that you've made. You made them, you struggle, a couple of hours of farming, but it's not enough. You're constantly forced to fix the things that you made. Once you make it, you gotta fix it. That's how it works. That means more farming, more resources. The axe that you use to chop down the tree, that has durability as well. You're chopping down trees, but don't forget to fix your axe. And since you're constantly running out of room in your inventory and overweight is a major issue, you won't be able to fix things because you got to pick up things. And then you kind of have to play this mind game and prioritize which stuff goes first. Do I fix my weapon now? Or maybe I fix the fire because nighttime is coming and I'm dying. Or maybe I need to repair my house, but I can't really repair my house because I need to travel. Can't travel because I'm overweight. The cooking system. The cooking system is badly and poorly designed. You would kind of think that this brings you back to Zelda, Breath of the Wild. No, it's similar to Zelda Breath of the Wild, except here it takes 5 minutes to cook something. Sure, not all of them take 5 minutes. Others take 1.5 minutes. Others take 3 minutes. You can cook different type of foods depending on what you have in your inventory, and you can mix those foods depending if you have like a bigger stove and you put more logs into it. You put more logs into it by chopping trees. You can't chop trees because you need to fix your axe. It revolves in a circle, right? Thing is, it takes forever to cook things. And it also takes forever after you eaten something to use or eat something else. Eating something cures poison or any negative effects, or even gives you HP over time. Sure, you can craft potions. Crafting potions takes forever as well, and crafting potion takes too many resources. You can craft like 5-6 potions, then you're out of resources. You need to farm 1 more hour just so you can get 6 more potions back. You're most of the time constantly relying on what you're cooking. Cooking takes forever. When you ingurgitate something, when you eat something, it takes forever for you to eat something else. In a boss fight or in a scenario where you gotta fight a bunch of guys at one time, you're eating something, maybe you're using a potion, and then you're kind of running around hitting just so you won't take damage because you can't heal again. You can't just constantly eat an apple. You gotta wait for it. Again, not easy. Kind of making you try harder to get better at the combat, but at the same time, I'm getting to the combat. It's frustrating in its own thing. We're getting there because the combat is not the main thing that you do in this game. Versus the trailers that you saw on the internet, versus the pictures that you see on Steam, versus everything that you see around, you think like, yeah, this is a Souls game, man. Combat is all you do. No, picking stuff from the ground, crafting, fixing, and going from one place to another. That's the main thing that you do, not the combat. But I did not pick this up to play by myself. This is where co-op comes into place. Right, let's get to it. how do you play the co-op? Because Steam doesn't tell you how you play the co-op. Nowhere in the description does it explain to you how you do it. But just like in any other game, right? You just invite your friend. Sure, you invite your friend. Thing is, they have no servers. Well, they have them. You just need to pay for them. Wait, I just purchased the game. Just like the way I purchased Elden Ring, right? Well, Elden Ring is a AAA video game. Elden Ring comes from a company that has quite a lot of money and they pay for their own servers. Laggy servers, but still servers nonetheless. This time around, no. You need to pay for your own stuff. Pay for the game, and the servers are way more expensive than the game themselves, to the point where you're like, no, it's not happening. You can play kind of locally, but that only means that the save is on your game, if that makes any sense. You invite your friend, but he has level 1. You need to start off together. Sure, you can do the quests together, you can upgrade stuff, but the moment you close the game, your friend goes back to his world, and he's also level 1. You can only sort of visit each other's worlds, help each other, but you grow apart. In order to be like Elden Ring, you need a dedicated server, which is what Elden Ring has and other, big games. You don't have that dedicated server because you need to purchase it. This kind of forces you to play co-op only and only in one person's world, right? Let's say, for example, today you want to play again. You enter your world, you call your friend back. If you've played by yourself and you progress the line along with the quests, your friend has clearly not made those progressions. He needs to do them all over again. This is the minus of not having a dedicated server. Yes, it has co-op, but it's kind of locally and very restrictive. And if your friend, for example, decides to jump in his world and play the game with his decisions, his world making, whatever, you get to join him. Well, guess what? Now he's level 10 and you're level 1 because you have to start all over again, because no dedicated server unless you pay for them, and those are very expensive. I get it. Early access, the developers don't have money, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to pay for some upkeep from some servers. Okay, sure, I get it. But you should be careful when you're thinking about this as co-op. What we've did is, me and my friend, we played a game. He gave up on the game altogether. And he said like this: listen, bro, when, you want to play, we'll just figure out a time when we are free and I'll jump into your world. We'll do things in your world. We'll do things because you play the game. I'll just be here to help you along. That's how we kind of made this compromise, because it's a bit of a struggle if he plays his world, I play my world, and then sometimes we invite each other and we're not in sync and we don't have the same quests. Kind of sucks. You need dedicated servers. That's the point. You need them, and they're expensive, and you're probably not going to get them. Combat. Well, that's the last thing that you're going to be doing in this game. Literally the last thing. Sure, you can fight a bunch of guys and whatnot, but it's not the main thing. The main thing is crafting and whatnot. Combat, you'd think that is Souls-like? Not really. The combat feels a bit more World of Warcraft-like than Souls-like. We found a bunch of bosses that have huge hitboxes. They have a reach that's not explainable. Maybe it's a bug, maybe it's not. They can hit you from far away, even though you're not really next to them, etc. There's stuff that can be improved here. But other than that, playing it as a mage is pretty much useless. There's a delay between you hitting a fireball, and if the target moves, it's impossible to hit him. I figured I'm the mage and my friend can be like a tank situation. I was barely never able to hit anything. Don't worry about it. The developers are thought about this. And along the line, after about 10 hours, you get a skill when your casting and hitting is quicker. Again, after about 10 hours of gameplay, not right away. So if you want to be a mage, you're going to have a horrible time. Pretty much a horrible time if you want to be like with an arrow, again, DPS from a range. Not happening. Pretty much the same problem as the mage. Again, there's a skill that makes you fire faster arrows. That skill is unlocked very, very late along the line. By then, you probably already uninstalled the game, leaving you with actual playability in terms of combat, one single class, the up close melee class. You're thinking to yourself, yeah, I'm gonna, start out as a mage. Not really, because most combat is just absolutely not doable as a mage or as an archer. The only way that you can pretty much play this is in melee. So they say that you have 3 classes when in fact, playable is one single class, just one. Keep it safe. Melee, sword in your hand, just, dodge, hit, dodge, run around, heal, dodge, hit, heal, run around, stuff like that. It's doable, I guess. It's just that the other classes, it takes forever to upgrade their stuff. By then, you probably not want to do it. And think about it, you need to spend your points in stuff for traveling, stuff for weight. You need to micromanage your inventory. You need to do other things. Spending points on combat is not going to be your main priority. Bottom line, I still don't think that Frozen Flame is in a state where it's kind of worth buying. In a couple of months, maybe 1 year, this game will have the potential eventually. Not right now. Those were my thoughts on Frozen Flame. Tell me what you think about it. If you played it, how did you find the level of difficulty? Are you considering buying this right now? Do you have someone to play it or not? I think that this should be a co-op game only. Single player wise, there's no story, just too much grinding. I don't see it playing it by yourself being fun. But those are my thoughts and how I experienced the game with my friend. It may vary depending on what you like. My name is Rocashu. Peace.